Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised.
Now, here's Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Well, we have what we hope will be a banner show tonight. My name is Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. He's a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. Say hi, Doc.
Hi, Doc.
Phone numbers, don't get into the act. Phone numbers, 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. Faxes coming our way at 310-854-4455. Well, it is an honor because tonight we have a guest, I guess somewhat infamous, but I think people are sort of in support of her. I really do. I mean, excluding the L.A. Police Department and a few Garcetti and a few other morons like that, I think people are generally behind Heidi Fleiss.
An underdog.
Yeah, well, it's a victimless crime. I mean, we talk about that all the time. I mean, it's like gambling, pornography, prostitution. I don't think we want elaborate stings set up to bust these people. You know what I want the police department to do? I want them to protect me from people that are trying to hurt me. and you too.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for including me in there.
And like a handful of the listeners and maybe Ann and Mike the engineer will see about. I don't want them out busting people that are essentially no more than consenting adults.
You know what, though? Let's not get into a big philosophical discussion.
No, let's do it.
No, let's find out who Heidi is and what she wants to talk about. And
all I'm saying is OJ walks,
Okay.
and Heidi's looking at 7 years.
All right.
Now, who do you want behind bars? What danger is Heidi to you or I?
We'll find out.
Oh, we will?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because she's going to be in here in about 7 minutes. And until then, I guess we can just go to the calls. Drew, I'll let you do the honors.
Let's start. Just go right down the line.
Start at the top. Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, you're on Loveline.
I have a problem concerning my weight. I can't gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost 20 pounds in the last 2 months.
Intentionally?
No. I just can't gain weight. I eat normal, good healthy diet, but I just can't gain any weight.
Is there anything you're doing that you think might have led to that weight loss?
Not that I can think of.
You're not doing drugs, you're not doing speed, you're not suddenly smoking cigarettes or something?
A lot of enemas.
I smoke about a half pack a day, but I mean, I eat a pretty healthy diet, and I was wondering if there's like any medications doctors can prescribe to promote weight gain.
Well, let me.
Yes, but not that you would. I mean, the idea, if you increase your calorie intake, you will gain weight unless there's a medical problem.
And let me tell you something about weight gain. Whether you're fat or whether you're thin, it's hereditary. By and large.
It's genetically programmed anyway. It may not be hereditary, but it's...
What's the difference between genetically programmed and hereditary?
It may not follow down in a family line,
Your
lineage.
folks are fat, you're fat. That's
often,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, often.
Fat people usually don't eat any more than thin people.
That's a new finding, but that tends to be true.
I've known it all along.
Well, why don't you just speak up and tell the press, Adam?
I'm going to say guys like Josh who are built like Ichabod Crane are that way because that's the way God made them. Now, you can alter it.
But the problem is he lost 20 pounds suddenly.
Well, now that's a bad thing.
From skinny to emaciated. And Josh,
I mean, I look like I'm from Auschwitz or something.
Yeah, Josh, go see somebody. I mean, there could be a million different things can cause it. There can be.
You could have a tremendous tapeworm.
There can be malabsorption problems like that.
That's a tapeworm.
A tapeworm can cause.
What's the biggest tapeworm you've ever heard of?
Like 16 feet.
16 feet. Do you hear that, Josh?
I'm scared.
Yes.
Josh, go see a doctor. Find out what's going on, why you're losing that weight, and the underlying problem, the fact that you're just a skinny guy. I agree with Adam. Is genetically programmed,
and that's okay. Skinny guys get a lot more women, by the way. Heidi Fleiss is skinny. I think she does pretty well too. Gina.
Yeah.
You're on Loveline.
Hi.
How's your weight?
Oh, pretty good.
Great.
I'm doing fine there. I had a question. Okay, me and my boyfriend, every time we have sex, he never comes. And I just don't understand why. I've never had this problem with anybody else before.
Could it be something's wrong with Gina?
Well,
could it be something wrong with her boyfriend? Why does it have to be Gina's problem?
I was just being a jerk.
Why is tonight different? I beg your pardon.
Oh, Jesus, Drew. No, yeah. Hey, does he do it when he masturbates?
I don't know. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, see, that's how guys are when they have, Pepe problems, I like to call them. When there's problems below the belt, they rarely want to talk about it. I mean, how long? You guys have sex like all night and nothing?
Yeah.
Well, that's good for you, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I start to feel kind of bad.
Yeah, because he's got a big vein coming out of his forehead. He's sweat off 20 pounds. He's going insane and nothing. You know what you need to do? And I don't know. Everyone complains when I give advice like this, but I think it all comes back to masturbation. I really do. Everything comes back to masturbation.
It really does seem to for you. It does. Families should have their own rooms so they can do weird things to themselves.
There should be a whole section in the Bible, just like in Genesis. And then Adam masturbated, and it was good. That was kind of cathartic, actually. The point is this guy, I'll bet, can do himself up right at home under the right conditions. Now, what you have to do is sort of recreate those conditions when you're together. Do you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
The position that works well for him, the time of day that works well for him, the music, everything that works for him when he's at home, able to pleasure himself, I'm sure in record time, by the way.
But how do I find out how he does that?
You have to talk to him. Is he on any medication by any chance?
Not that I know of, no.
Well, check that out, too. Adam is giving you reasonable advice, but I think you've got to discuss all this with him and do it not when you're in an intimate situation. Do it when it's relatively unthreatening to him, okay?
Uh-huh.
All right?
Okay.
So talk to him.
Oh, I will.
Also,
I heard the other night you were all looking for a term for female masturbation.
Yeah.
And me and my friends call it running in circles.
Oh, that's not bad. I'll go for that. All right, at least it wasn't lewd. We got Heidi Fleiss coming in here in about 3 minutes. And until then, Gene, you're on Loveline.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Drew.
Hey, Gene.
I have this problem with my boyfriend. He's like, okay, we've been going out for like 9 months. And, I mean, at first it was really good. And we talk a lot. And we did stuff together. But now it's like, I'll try to talk to him and tell him that he's not spending enough time with me. And
You're 15?
Yeah.
How old is he?
15.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and he'll say, okay, well, we'll do something, and we'll try to spend more time together, and I'll try to, he just says I'm sorry a lot. And I don't know, and he really doesn't tell me, like, what he's thinking or, what he thinks is wrong with our...
He's starting this pattern at 15?
Yeah.
Usually guys get into this into their early 20s, and then it carries on till death. But, 15, usually they're a little bit sensitive at that point.
You mean being insensitive and avoidant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
It's, like, bothering me because it's like he'll tell my friend stuff. I'll tell her, talk to him for me, and he'll tell her that, he thinks that we're acting more like friends than we are, boyfriend-girlfriend type thing, and he says that he doesn't like that. He wants to be more, he wants to, like, be there for me, but I feel like he puts his friends ahead of me, and he'll, like, leave me out, kind of.
All right, so here, I don't know why it sounds like we're in a cave doing this. Oh wait, I think it just went away. Gene, dump the guy.
Or the relationship is already kind of sputtering out, and you gotta
right.
make him come clean about what his intentions are with the relation. Okay?
Like talk to him and...
Well, but he may not. It sounds like he's not being really honest with you. Maybe he's not even being honest with himself. But you deserve that. Give
him a chance to talk. But if he's not going to talk, screw him. And
yeah,
let me put
right.
that out there to all women. And Heidi Fleiss, who just walked into the studio, who just sat down, will you agree with me that women, you should give a guy a chance, you should talk to him, but if he's not going to talk, don't sit there and try to pry on him with a flat bar. He's not talking, dump him.
No, cheat right away.
Cheat immediately?
I'm just kidding.
'Cause
Yeah, you sound like you're right.
I do?
Yeah, cheat right away.
No, that's not a good way to start the show. Adam is rarely right.
Yeah.
You could assume he's wrong and just...
Obviously not a big fan of the show. You got to know to buddy up to Drew almost immediately, therefore getting 98% of listeners in your camp while doing so. All right, Heidi, let's talk about you for a minute. Everyone's heard about all the trials, pardon the pun, and tribulations of Heidi Fleiss over the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we got some plugs to do because you have the Heidi Fleiss Hollywood Madam movie that's going to be at the New Art. That's Friday, right?
I'm not endorsing that completely, though.
All right. Should I not mention it again?
Oh, no, you're go ahead and mention it.
Is it about you?
It is about me.
No, it's another Heidi Fleiss Hollywood Madam.
No, I look, sometimes movies have strange names that are not related to the movie.
No.
That's true. Like Mother Jugs and Speed. What the hell was that?
I missed that one. It's a documentary about me, but there's portions of it that are very personal, and I happen to be a little bit, I find quite offensive or a little embarrassing.
Okay.
So but it does have there are some high points on the film that are, it's definitely worth watching.
Is it like home movies and that sort of thing? A Lifetime reviewed, or?
It's, I think the person who made it will be in later, I'm not sure, but it's one person's take and trying to put together of what happened, the rise and fall, I guess.
What's your take on it?
My take on it, there are some great points he captured about the LAPD and the corruption, and there's a great moment where you see Gates's true colors. For people who don't know, he was the chief of police for the LAPD for I think 20 years. He really ran this whole town, and it has some great moments with him. And as far as it goes into the corruption and the inequities of the law itself on prostitution, or pandering, or just as far as the government attacked me, how I feel it goes into those points really good. But as far as my personal life, that's the part I disagree with.
All right, so we'll give it like a sideways thumb or something, a half-hearted endorsement.
Exactly.
We'll tell people if they want to see it, fine. If not, that's okay too.
Oh no, it's entertaining. There's some great. I mean, you get to see this woman called Madam Alex. She passed away, who was a madam here for 30 years, who you could really see some unique, definitely worth seeing.
Now, is it a provocative film? I mean, is there nudity or anything? Because we have a lot of young listeners who like that kind of stuff.
Adam's trying to decide if
I want to know where to go.
Yeah.
The listeners, I think anyone who wants to come to L.A., and I think it's worth anybody. If you're young, old, it's definitely worth seeing.
Right. Okay. And we'll plug little Heidi wear.
Heidi, we're 1-800-HEIDI-75. We ship great Valentine's Day gifts, everything.
And something that I'm sure will be worth something someday, even more than the market value today.
Oh, absolutely.
I was talking to a psychologist the other day who was talking about how wearing that, your logo, will provoke a response from people always. Well, you will get some kind. It's not like wearing.
You're not going to the bank in a pair of shorts, are you?
Well, no, people wear sweats and stuff.
Okay.
And so,
I'm wearing it right now. This is it's like also my casual type. The jackets Heidi wear.
But people.
I thought it was all underwear and stuff.
No, but
it's sweats and gym clothes and that sort of thing. And people apparently really react. Either they're very much in support of you, or they're very very unhappy.
Either you're going to be attacked by an angry mob, or you're going to get a blowjob. Is that what you're saying, Drew?
No, I'm not saying that, Adam.
You're not?
No,
all
I'm
right.
not.
Well, Heidi, we're going to go back to the phones, and we would love to get some advice from you since I know modesty prevents you from labeling yourself as a sex expert, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Heidi Fleiss, sex expert. Greg.
Yes.
You're on Loveline.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Let's see, I just had a comment. Last night I was listening to the program, and a guy called in, said he may have an allergic response to the lubricants used on condoms, and Dr. Drew said
spermicide is what Drew said.
Yeah, Dr. Drew said that the lubricant's only on the outside.
Spermicide.
The spermicide's only on the outside.
Is it on the inside too?
Yeah, because when it's applied on the outside, but when the condom's rolled up, the inside rolls across the outside. Understand?
So it gets on the outside sufficiently. Okay, on the inside.
I just wanted to point that out.
Good. Well, I appreciate that.
No problem.
So that makes sense.
Okay.
You want to give Drew a quick compliment before you hang up after breaking his heart?
Show. You guys are very funny. I'm way out here on the East Coast listening to it, but it's a great show. I stay up late just to listen to it.
All right. God bless you.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right. Now, Heidi, let's talk for a second here. I know the case has already been settled, right?
Well, basically.
So you can talk about a few things, right?
Be more than happy to. A few things.
Okay. First off, I just want to get an idea for how this whole thing works. As we were talking about it last night, I've never been to a prostitute.
Well, you poor thing.
I know. Now, you didn't run, one of these ranches in Nevada. You didn't run a bunch of call girls on the street. I mean, you had a classy operation.
I was just a go-between.
Right.
I've been labeled this madam thing, which is way off. I was just a go-between. There are adult men who were extremely wealthy. There are more than willing women, all over 18, consenting adults, wanting to meet each other. Whether they had sex or not was none of my business. All I did was the introduction. I was just like a lawyer. A lawyer talks to the judge for the client. It's the same thing.
But you're figuring there's some sex involved, because a couple of grand for a trip to Arby's and a handshake is a little expensive.
You're dealing with kind of people who really the money they have. has no value to them, and maybe to go to some kind of a political affair to have an arm piece is more important, and they couldn't care less how much they were spending for the arm piece.
Well, all right, I'll buy that. Now, do you have any stories of like some oil baron coming into town and shelling out $10,000 for a woman to just like clean his toilet or something?
Well, I didn't deal with maid service, but you know.
I know, but just having her do something.
I have memory problems.
Would be peculiar. Nothing like that, huh?
No crazy stories.
All right, but what would be the going rate? Can you say that?
I would have no idea.
You'd have no idea?
Wouldn't have
Surely you'd have a closer idea than I would.
I work at Heidi where I'm so far removed from that lifestyle now. I was arrested over 2.5 years ago.
All right, well, with inflation being what it is.
Well, I hear things since I haven't been around haven't been so good.
So
I don't know.
But a lot.
Take some calls.
Well, I just thought we would get into this. Oh, let me just get in the Black Book for 1 second.
The Black Book.
Now, I know you're not divulging the contents of the book or anything like that, but
I'll tell you a little bit about someone. Charlie Sheen. He's a liar. He lied on the stand. He lied under oath. And he was granted immunity to testify against me. There was absolutely no reason for him to take the stand but to brag about his own machoism. And he lied. He said that he spent $60,000 in cash with me. Never once did that guy ever pay cash. He always wrote a check.
Really?
Yes.
But he was so good in Platoon.
Well, didn't you like a Hot Shots Dua?
Well, okay. All right, let's bash on it for just a second. Why would he write you checks? Isn't that like more traceable than cash, obviously?
I don't know. I guess I'm the idiot because I'm the only one being prosecuted for it.
Now, are you going to save this Black Book like some kind of ace in the hole?
I've forgotten about the Black Book. I will never talk of it. It's the past. It's over with. I have nothing but regrets and sorrow and grief, and this whole experience has been such a nightmare, and I wish I was never involved in the whole thing.
Have you? But has there been an opportunity to sort of learn and say, gee, I'm glad I'm not in that anymore, and I can get on with my life?
And not only am I say that I'm glad that I was arrested, so I'm out of that lifestyle,
right.
But I wish I never even got into it to begin with. I mean,
what do you think? If I ask you anything that you feel uncomfortable with, just don't worry. Just
you
stop
can ask
me.
me anything.
But how did that happen? Do you think it was a particular like was it substance abuse or was it just the people?
I met a pimp at a nightclub called Helena's, which was Jack Nicholson owned it years ago, and I met this guy. His name was Ivan. But he's a convicted bookmaker, so none of this is new. And he was arrested for pandering, but the charges were dropped because he gave information against me. I met this pimp at a nightclub, and I met him as a bookmaker, so I was placing bets with him. Then he introduced me to this Madam Alex and this drugs and a whole lifestyle that, in a way, you know it's wrong and bad.
But already you were underway, though, that you were accessing that kind of stuff. You know, you were gambling and you were probably using some drugs. And the door was open.
I have a 1.5 year sobriety now.
Congratulations.
But I never had, I never did the kind of drugs as crystal meth that he gave me. I've never even heard of it until this guy gave it to me like for breakfast every day. So I was like in a...
But, people, I treat a lot of speed addicts, and people on speed, their judgment is so off. I mean, you really don't know what you're doing. A guy, in fact, Todd Bridges was telling me, who's recovering now, how many, 8 years or something.
Different strokes.
Yeah, and he said he used 18 grams of speed a day. And that's the all record I've ever heard.
No, I did like a gram a month.
But he said that his life was like going through life with a strobe light on. That things weren't connecting. It just was just impossible to make sense of things.
I never stayed up all night or anything like that, but I would do it like for a cup of coffee. I would just
but if you do a line of speed a day, eventually you do that for 6 months, you're going to get paranoid. You're going to start. Your thoughts are not going to work right. It's going to affect your judgment. Things. It just does that.
All right, can we talk about hookers for just a little while?
They're boring, but go ahead.
Well, we have to talk about our sponsors, though, I think, right now, don't we?
Oh, we do? All right, we'll be back with more hookers, medical advice, and fun on Loveline.
Hi, I'm Robin Leach with those champagne wishes and caviar dreams. And you're listening to Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Yes, you are. Robin's not in that book, is he?
I have heard a few stories.
He told a few when he was here.
Yeah, but I thought he got it for free.
Who knows?
Please, he has a different kind of reputation.
All right, let me give the phone numbers out. Oh, he does. Does he? He was wearing a rather loud jacket and slacks combo. I was wondering what... Oh, okay.
He did have a lot to say when I got arrested. I couldn't believe he had the audacity to say it.
Oh, really? He mouthed off. That is Heidi Fleiss, by the way, for those of you who don't know who the mystery woman is.
I'll hold back with him, though, you know. He did a mouth off while I turned on the TV. I couldn't believe the audacity he had.
What was he saying?
Oh, he was interviewing some girls that had said they had been in my house and met me, and these girls were like well into their 30s, saying that I try to recruit them, which was absolutely absurd. They're way beyond the age limit, and I wouldn't try and recruit them.
I mean, they're too old?
Yeah, they were probably like his $200 dates.
What were the $200? A lot of money for a hooker. I think
my language.
I'm sorry, I'm simple.
Excuse me.
Let me ask you about that. First off, you never recruited any guys, did you? Was there any male prostitution going on?
I didn't know of any.
Okay. And what was the age range? Over 18, obviously.
Over 18, and I know girls lie about their age so much. I was only 25, so, you know. Hey, I'm just trying to figure the world out myself.
But did you size them up? I mean, if they...
Of course you do. Everyone you meet, you size up. When you meet a guy, girl, whatever, you try and see if they're being honest, what kind of person they are. You get a vibe.
Right, but I meant physically. I mean, did you take a look at them and go, you're in the Robin Leach bin over here or something like that?
Yeah, look at people, I see dollar signs. No, I'm just kidding.
And seriously, now, as a male prostitute, what do you think I could pull down? You know,
$1 million a week.
I gotta quit this gig. All right, we're going back to the phones. Olivia. Olivia.
Hi, Heidi. Hi.
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 I have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend has genital piercings, and he scratched me.
He has what old piercings?
Genital.
Oh, genital. Okay.
What kind of piercing does he have?
Like a loop with a little dangly thing on it.
So through the tip of his penis?
Yeah.
The Prince Albert.
Prince Albert.
Yeah. I can't understand that stuff, but it's so common now. Do you understand that? Piercing?
I happen to be very put off by body piercings, and I don't see how people find it. Even the belly loop, I find really just a big turnoff. People come into my shop with these tongue things, and I can't even look at them.
Never been with a guy then that had a hoop hanging from his schlong?
Oh, nowhere. God, no. I don't even like the earring. If a guy has their ears or anything, I just can't. I'm not into that body. Only on girls' ears does it look appropriate, and that's it.
And Olivia,
big diamonds.
Well, you're very old. You're surprisingly old-fashioned.
Very old-fashioned.
And Olivia, you said that it hurt you.
Yeah, it scratched me.
Inside?
Yeah.
How do you know there's a scratch there?
It hurts.
You have a lot of pain now. Go see a doctor. Get it checked out. Make sure, first of all, that it's just a scratch. It could be something else, God knows.
Mm-hmm.
And, make him wear a condom from now on.
Okay.
You're going to be okay telling your doctor how you got this?
Mm-hmm.
Look, Olivia, don't be afraid. Anything you say to your doctor is absolutely confidential. It's illegal for them to reveal any of the things you say. It's not, we see all kinds of things. It would not throw a doctor in any way. Just put it out there.
You wouldn't wince just a little bit, Doc, if he said...
I might wince a little bit, but for her.
Okay. All right. Rachel.
Hello.
You're on Loveline with Dr. Drew, Adam Carolla, and Heidi Fleiss.
Hi, guys. I have a question. Well, every time after I have sex with my boyfriend, I have to get up right away to go to the bathroom.
Who does?
I have to get up
You get up right away.
Because otherwise I'll get a urinary tract infection. I mean, I get one every time if I don't go to the bathroom right away. And it really upsets him because he wants me to, lay there, and I can't seem to, get it through his head that I have to get up. And I was just wondering, how I could explain it to him. Well, actually, I was wondering what causes it in the first place.
You want to comment first?
I would say too bad for him. You get up and go to the bathroom.
I kind of agree with that. Happens as a result of bacteria being pushed up into your bladder as a result of the trauma from intercourse.
Yeah, we talked about this many a time.
Many a time. You finally got the concept?
I'm gonna carry the torch here for a second. The woman has a very short urethra.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
That's the tube. It's like, you ever go to, amusement park? They got, the log jammer ride? That's like the urethra. On a man would be like the long waterfall. The log comes sailing down the thing. Bunch of spectators get splashed. But for the woman, it's just a short one.
Right.
It's just a little one. And once in a while, if the log gets rammed up the other way on the waterfall, then some of the water could stagnate. And then you got to call in maintenance and shut the park down for a while. And everyone goes home disappointed.
Right.
And there's no refunds, by the way.
The only alternative to what you're doing...
And that frilly hat you bought, that's got to go back, too.
Only alternative to what you're doing is taking antibiotics regularly or every time you have sex, that sort of thing. You could do that. I think it's much better with what you're doing, and it's your boyfriend's problem. But you can understand, though, that if somebody has that kind of an intimate connection, and then all of a sudden somebody's walking away from that, it could be disturbing. So she needs to be sensitive to that and find a way to kind of make the departure.
No, this guy is a jackass. Because let me tell you, guys are notorious for not wanting to cuddle after sex. I mean, no guy says, right now I just need to be held when he's done with sex. He's running for the TV, he's running for the fridge. Right, Heidi?
Oh, you wish the other person would just vanish.
Right. Well, that's where you come in.
Yeah, exactly.
The wallet thins out a little, the person vanishes, and you go back to your oil farm in Saudi Arabia.
No nothing.
God bless America. But what I'm saying is the one time we find one guy who wants to cuddle. One guy in America wants to cuddle, and we hook him up with the one woman who doesn't want to cuddle. She wants to use the head. Isn't life ironic?
It is ironic, truly.
All right.
How about the girls that you worked in around? Do you follow with any of them? Are you friendly with any of them still? Or
my lifestyle's so far removed from...
Are they, as you look back, you got a year and a half sobriety, you're obviously a lot healthier in a lot of respects now. Sick people for the most part, not well?
No, I
wouldn't say. A lot of drugs?
I can't...
I use the term sick real broadly. I mean, just not well.
I was not well myself,
so I understand
it would be unfair for me to judge a situation.
Not judging, just as sort of a matter of, gee, can you understand, the point I'm getting at, can you understand how providing that kind of environment might provoke people who are not well to stay not well?
It's not a healthy environment.
Right. And were most of these women out-of-work actresses or models or that sort of thing?
It's the whole scope. I mean, there's a lot of them who are very well-known. You wouldn't expect to do it. There are cover girls. A lot of them are someone that may develop a drug addiction from it, or you just may travel down the wrong road because of it, or there is someone who may use it for a stepping stone instead of a career and further themselves. Each individual is different and is affected by anything.
I bet some of the clients hooked up with some of the women. I bet, did that ever happen?
Oh yeah, there was a few marriages.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to make nice dinner conversation. Where'd you two guys meet? Well, I had a few grand to blow. I was in L.A. for a weekend. Wow. And so people like, there's people that we know, people like on TV and stuff?
Of course.
Any of the Golden Girls?
Big demand.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of guys are into a lot of different stuff.
Adam has this thing about B. Arthur. But
it's a fetish, I admit it.
But I would bet that most of the girls were either addicts or evolving into addicts or products of some kind of abuse in their home. Is that safe to say?
Some of them fall into that category, and some of them are someone who you would expect, someone who is a college grad, who does not do drugs, who is responsible, who is beautiful, who is everything you would want.
Well, in the paper, it said a woman could work a couple of times a month and make like $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
Was that correct? So I mean, you could see where that would drag out a few sane people, too. I mean, I haven't even begun to explore the possibilities of what I would do working twice a month for $6,000 a month.
And enjoying it.
I don't know. It might hurt a little what I was thinking about, actually. All right, let's go back to the phones. Now, Heidi, you're going to help us out, right?
I'm trying to.
All right. Leslie.
Yeah.
You're on Loveline.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Good.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to pay Dr. Drew a compliment, please.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Drew, I just want to tell you, last week they were talking to this lady who was a stripper, and you said that she had, like, maybe there was, like, some low self-esteem or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
Yeah, we got a fair number of calls like that. I kind of remember that one, yeah.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say that was totally right, because I used to be one when I was a lot younger, and I had no self-esteem at all.
Right, and so Julie.
I think I could have said that, too, by the way.
Well, I talk about it as being a way of mastering something that really you found unpleasant when you were younger.
Right. I experienced no love at home.
Right, and so you can sort of master it, in this kind of provocative and dysfunctional way.
Right, and there's those people handing you money and you feel like you're special, which I never did.
What's your question about?
Okay, I wanted to ask about, because my doctor told me I smoke. Okay, I smoke cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
and I take birth control. I take the pill. And my doctor told me all this stuff about, blood clots and heart attacks and stuff.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, at my age, is that really possible?
It is a slight increased risk at your age. As you hit 30 and beyond, the risk becomes really substantial. You probably should not be on the pill after 30 if you're a smoker.
Now, Drew, what if you actually smoke the pill? What consequences does that have?
That we'll have to experiment. If you want to try that tonight, we can just report it.
All right. I have. Well, I'll go home tonight. I'll play Mystery Bong.
I'm learning more about you all the time, Adam. It's a scarier trip for me all the time.
I'm telling you, I could have worked for Heidi in some capacity.
It sounds like you could still.
You could use a guy like me around the underwear shop, right?
Oh, never a dull moment.
In the apparel shop, I should say. All right, do we have time to go one more quick call?
I don't think so. No.
No. All right. When we come back, we're going to have more revelations from Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss. Yes. The phone number's here at Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191. The fax number, 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. We have Dr. Drew here as per usual, but as per unper-usual, we have Heidi Fleiss, and I'm sure everyone knows the name by now. We're getting to know the voice behind the name, Heidi Fleiss, and we were talking about our disgust for the legal system during the break, that someone like Heidi has to do 7 years and 3 months and a minimum of 6 years.
I would have to serve the whole 6 years.
Right.
And that's if I'm lucky. That's the best case scenario for me.
Right. Best case is 6 years.
Yeah.
Because it's a federal thing?
Because of the things I've been convicted of. Money laundering. Who launders money in a bank? I mean, it's absurd, the whole thing.
And you're the only madam or pimp who's ever been prosecuted federally, so I understand.
Yeah, ever. It's a wrong message to society that you can cut your wife's head off and kill a waiter or whoever did this and walk around and play golf, and for consensual sex, you go to jail for whatever.
You are so goddamn right. I'm tired of this. I mean, I'm tired of people telling you can't do what you want to do. Their job is to stop people from hurting you. If you want to do something that you're into, that's your freaking business.
It's behind closed doors, if you want to be spanked or you want it, whatever, you have to have some weird fetish, you should be able to do it, and it's a little bit of too much of Big Brother in your bedroom.
These are the same assholes, by the way, who want to make sure you can have assault rifles, though. For some reason, having assault rifles is fine. That's okay. But God forbid you should drop a few grand of your hard-earned money to find yourself a good-looking woman to have a nice evening with.
And you're absolutely right.
What do we care?
You know what? It's a hooker. It's a sexually obsessed society that's not able to deal with it in the right way, so they think by policing it or trying to police it that something positive is going to come out of it.
Right. And I think all these guys that are on this detail, this vice squad, are a bunch of pent-up homos.
Well,
yes, they become obsessed with it because of their own shortcomings as men.
The detective that arrested me, his father, is a homosexual.
He's a diving instructor.
Yeah, and he was thrown off the Olympic diving team for fooling around with the boys, and the vice cop that arrested me has some kind of problem with his dad being gay and is so hooker obsessed. It's disgusting.
Right, it's like J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah.
This guy is busting people for having sex in the wrong position in their own bedroom, and he's mincing around in a handful of chiffon every chance he gets.
Absolutely.
Because when you're screwed up, you turn that on other people.
And that's exactly what happened here.
That's why I don't trust any of those guys.
Yeah, and the father has a son covering up him being with younger underage kids.
And these Japanese or Chinese guys, they pose as Japanese businessmen. Korean businessmen.
And they pose. They really did pose.
How much money you figure they sunk into that? How many man-hours are involved with that kind of project?
That's why there's a budget crisis in L.A. That's why we have no more money.
Like the taxpayers want these bunch of pent-up pud-whacking homos sitting around all day, brewing, working out big plans, spending tons of money, tapping wires.
There were so many men in the room next door smoking, watching these girls strip, that all the fire alarms went off in the hotel room.
Right. All with their dicks out, too.
I'm sure they all went home and masturbating.
Here's what I want these people to do. I want to yank them off the porn detail for 10 seconds and put them on the frickin' carjacking detail.
And there was one woman involved, So, who is confused about her own
lesbian.
Yes, she's confused with her sexuality. She loves arresting just high-priced call girls. That's it. That's all she'll go after.
That's right.
Never a John.
Here's what the
God
law.
God forbid there should be a high-priced. There should be a guy, a billionaire, arrested. And oh no, let's just go make this girl strip for $1,500. Then let me slap the handcuffs on her.
I see right through their pathetic sexual facade, every one of them. And I'm asking America to join me on my pornography crusade.
And Internal Affairs does nothing about it.
Oh, they don't?
No, they couldn't care. They just turned a blind eye to all this police corruption.
Here's what I want the police to do.
How do you think Mark Furman got away for so long? Because they turned a blind eye to this kind of stuff.
I want the police to do what we want them to do, what we care about as a society. Do you care what people do, Drew, or do you care about when your triplets being abducted and molested?
I care about my kids.
Do you care about being carjacked, or do you care about Japanese businessmen getting a blowjob? I don't care if someone wants to gamble on a football game. I don't care if a guy wants a pot plant in his backyard.
That's right.
That's his business.
It's his problem.
You
yeah,
people
leave him
band
alone.
together and stop street crime. If a guy wants to get laid, he can get laid.
What do we need? A VCR in everyone's bedroom?
Damn straight. Big brother. Cutting you right off at the knees. I think we're in accord here, right, Heidi?
I'm right along with you.
All right. Brian.
Should have had him in the courtroom.
Hi, hey, Andrew.
Should have been there.
Hey.
Brian.
Adam.
Yeah.
Heidi.
You're on Loveline.
How you doing?
Fantastic.
I just wanted to let you know, Adam, that I'll be the first to join your pornography crusade.
That's right. We're having a march.
But let me just play a little bit of a devil's advocate. Okay, and I remember I am loosely in favor of legalization of drugs because I don't think it really affects addictive disease to have them illegal. In fact, it may provoke people to go after the thrill of pursuing illicit substances. But again, in that business you were in, a lot of unhealthy people. And if that business were really to flourish, it would really keep a lot of people unhealthy. Theoretically,
It's not true. It could be regulated,
but
and
even
not everyone does drugs that's involved in this. It's a percentage.
But even in your case, though, getting arrested improved your life, really. I mean, I'm sorry, the jail part, obviously, no. But it woke you up to what was going on.
I wouldn't want to be involved in illegal activity. I wouldn't want to put my family through this. I wouldn't want to risk my freedom. I'm going to spend a significant portion of my life behind bars for other people having sex. That's the part that bothers me. Drugs, I think I eventually would have got off on my own. And I think, if anything, the pressures of the government increased my drug problem because it didn't get worse till everyone called me and said, Heidi, some FBI agents were just in my office asking about you. And, no one wants to come around you there. Everyone's afraid they're going to be investigated who comes near you.
But just listen how absurd that statement sounded. You just said, I'm going to prison because other people had sex.
I didn't even have the sex.
I'm just saying, even if you had the sex, we're talking about sex. She didn't say because other people killed, because other people raped, because other people stole. She's going to prison because other people had sex. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, forget about the drugs because I'm against drugs. So. And
no, but I'm saying, though, the people that I didn't say there were just addicts in that business. There are people who were abused, and this is a way of acting out that psychological trauma. So is stripping and stuff like that, too, by the way. And that's not
so are doctors, so are teachers, so are politicians, so are lawyers.
We're abused.
Well, at least I'll go with the politician and lawyer part.
In every field, you'll find someone who fits what you're saying.
That's
it's
true.
Not only a stripper.
No, that's true. But
it's not only
I understand
a
that.
hooker or
right.
only it's not a singled out.
But that activity tends to draw people who've had those kinds of traumas. And it does it whether it's legal or illegal. I'm just saying that I'm playing the devil's advocate that if it were illegal, at least it may cause people to interrupt that behavior and wake up like you did.
Say it's legal and it's regulated, and someone can get help, or if something's regulated, what's the difference?
Yeah, sweeping stuff under the carpet, it just festers and comes out in a more grotesque form.
It's like the computer on the internet. Everyone says, oh, we want to arrest all the porn. At least leave the porn on there so you know there's a problem. If you just make it so you hide the problem, then it's still going to go on, but no one knows it. It should be that no one has porn on there because no one wants to see the kids having sex or whatever the computer porn is.
Ultimately, that's the only way you're going to get to any of this is demand. Knock off demand.
Exactly.
Meaning raise kids in a better environment, instill better values, make them not have better relationships so they don't need to go out and get pornography, have them be more comfortable in their own skin so they don't need to take the drugs. But trying to cut it off at that point doesn't work.
Yeah, just turning a blind eye to it's not going to help. At least let it, if it exists, you can try and help the situation.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, I had a question. I heard that your body physiologically can't tell the difference between a sneeze and an orgasm. And I was just wondering if that's true.
Well, your hamper can, I can tell you that.
Yeah, there's a difference. There may be some biological similarities, but there's quite a substantial, complex difference between those two events.
Well, now here's maybe what you heard, Brian. When people called up, remember when Dr. Ruth had her own show over there, they would call her up and say, "I've never had an orgasm. What's it feel like?" And she would go, "Well, it was like when you." This is Dr. Ruth, by the way. "It is like a sneeze." So that's how she would describe it. And it's not a bad description if you're trying to explain to someone what it is who's never had one.
And the fact that there's sort of a build-up and a crescendo and then a resolution and whatnot, and that's...
And the part where you wipe down and stuff. The Kleenex,
similar,
the Kleenex
but
part.
very, very different. Very different, Brian.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks.
So get your face out of the pepper jar. Drew, what call do you want to go to?
We got to do kind of quick here.
We're giving this call to Heidi.
You pick one. These are all...
All right. Yeah. All right. Carrie.
Hi.
You have a question for Heidi?
Sure, I guess.
Great.
Over New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve. Me, my boyfriend's friend, and this other girl had an orgy. In just in a bedroom. And my boyfriend and I had been together for over a year at that time, and he had never given me oral sex, and the other guy did. And now my boyfriend is extremely upset and he refuses to do it ever for, like, the rest of time.
I just chalk this one up to never underestimate the kinds of feelings that these kinds of interactions can provoke. When you get involved with things with other people and stuff, your relationship is doomed.
This guy holds out a year and a half from oral sex?
Yeah.
And what was he doing? Waiting for you to, like, cure or ferment or something? What are you, a bottle of wine?
Now he refuses to ever do it, ever.
Get a new boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean, Heidi, what do you think? This isn't going to work, is it?
Go back to the one who did it on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, what's he doing?
Yeah, call him up.
I mean, you knew him for 10 minutes he was down there. This guy was a year and a half.
I knew him for a long time, too.
All right, but let me tell you.
Go back to the other one that you knew.
Let me tell you something. When you don't do something for someone for a year and a half, threatening not to do it is not really much of a threat. I mean, it wasn't like he was on some kind of some kind of fever pace beforehand. He wasn't training for the Oral Olympics before the orgy. He probably wouldn't have given you one anyway. This is just his excuse now.
But he said that he wanted to wait to make it special or something.
He wanted to wait till after, like, another guy, like, warmed you up a little?
I don't know.
Yeah, this whole thing is not healthy, not good.
Let me tell you, you wait from the afternoon to the evening to make it special. You don't wait 18 months to make it special.
That part of it is, like, the least of the problem. The problem is that he's got all these intense feelings, and he
agreed to this whole orgy thing, too. It's not like he was
forced
into it.
Whenever if you have an intimate relation, you bring it to that kind of a situation, that relationship is highly unlikely to survive it. It creates a lot of instability in the feelings. People have resentments that they didn't know they were going to have. They have feelings for the other people in the event. I mean, it's kind of an intimacy that drags out feelings you don't anticipate. And it's doomed. I'm sorry, Carrie, but it's not going to work.
Well, even if it wasn't doomed, you've now cursed it, Drew. So it's
you're
surely
the one that told
doomed.
both you guys chimed in and said, get somebody
doesn't
else.
even know what he's doing. He's afraid of what to do.
Heidi, you wouldn't stick with a guy who didn't do that for a year and a half, would you?
Please.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even go through, like, a long radio interview without having a guy do that for you. Am I right?
He better be on his way and doing it right, or he's out of here.
All right, I'm going to stretch out during the break, and we'll be back. Oh, boy. Heidi was just lamenting over the 6 years she may be doing in a state or federal penitentiary. And I soothed her by saying, look at Patty Hearst.
Yeah, right.
She had a little trouble in the mid-'70s with the Symbian Liberation Army, and she's doing fine now.
How do you know she's doing fine?
She have kids?
Yeah, well, she's doing better than she was when she was holed up in some shack in Watts.
She looked
shooting
like she
it
was
out
having
with the
more fun
sheriffs.
before.
Well, all right. Fun is a relative thing, though. Phone numbers, 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. Fax number, 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. That is Heidi Fleiss. Do we want to go back to the phones real quick here?
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right, before the break. All righty. Michael.
Hi.
Hey, you're on Loveline.
Oh, great. Hey, Heidi, Drew, what's up?
Michael.
Adam, I have a question for Dr. Drew.
Real quick.
And maybe, okay. I'm going on house arrest, and they're going to have me on a drug testing program.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not using drugs, but I wanted to know, my girlfriend smokes pot.
Uh-huh.
I'll walk in the bathroom or something. She'll leave the room.
It's not going to show up on your drug screen.
It's not going to show up?
No.
And is there anything else, like, I've heard that if you eat too much salad, it'll show up as THC, or...
Yeah, actually a poppy
Really?
seed muffin or 2 poppy seed bagels will show up as opiate in your urine.
And
Really?
you get in big trouble.
That's a crazy
Yeah.
thing to go to jail for.
Yeah, don't take anything poppy seeds. Amphetamine, some of the amphetamine screens are a little bit unsophisticated, so cold medication will show up initially as amphetamine. You
Yeah.
want to ask for something called liquid chromatography evaluation if indeed amphetamine shows up.
Sure.
Yeah, they do a gravity
It's called a TLC. It's called that sort of ferrets out what's amphetamine and what's a cold medicine.
Michael, Michael, let me ask you real quick. Do you have to wear a collar or some sort of homing beacon or something?
Yeah, I have to wear the little federal
it's a boot.
The
beeper.
low jack.
Yeah, it's
the low jack.
Round your ankle?
Yeah, they're going to hook me up like next week.
I would kill to be on that.
And you can't take that thing off for how long?
And there's no way they'll do that to you.
I'm finishing up a sentence. 3
I
months I got to
wish.
be on that.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's nothing. I just don't want to walk into a cloud of marijuana smoke or.
No, well, you obviously avoid it. But if you sat in the room all day, who knows? But I would say in general, I've never seen that actually happen.
And we'll be back in 10. Yeah, well, I should have said 15. Actually. Loveline, we're back with Heidi Fleiss and Dr. Drew. And I wanted to say something. Yeah, Heidi, you would love one of those homing collars, wouldn't you?
I would love it.
You could
I would
just
do anything for that.
because you have a pretty good life now, right? I mean, you live in a nice place.
Yes, I work every day. You know, people walk into my store, Heidi Wear, and I'm in there sweeping and mopping. They're like, "Wow, that's you, Heidi Fleiss, sweeping
Right,
and mopping."
right.
I have
Would you
15 employees. I pay my
Oh,
taxes.
yes,
I
and
work
they'll be
real
out of
hard.
work when you go into the pen, won't they?
No, horrible things could happen.
You pose such a tremendous threat to society.
I would
Do you
give
see
anything.
the logic in this? She's working. She's got a business. She's paying taxes.
She's way into recovery.
She's way into recovery. She looks good. She's employing people.
Positive role
Let's
model.
yank her. Let's pluck her skinny ass right out of this and drop her right in the pen where we can pay $30,000 a year to feed her gruel. That is a fine plan. Maybe she can get a tattoo and find Jesus. And then when she comes out, she can start all over again. And hopefully those 15 employees you laid off won't be on the dole. That's English for welfare, I think. Also, I was thinking if you got one of those homing collars, they should put a scent. Make them smell good. You know what I mean? As long as you're going to wear a collar, at least have it repel something or have it smell nice. Drew, what call you want to go? Oh, I know what call you want to go. Heather.
Hi, I'm a 17-year-old mother of 2.
Wow,
and I
mother
have a
of
couple
2.
comments for Heidi. I'm totally for her. I'm very sad that she has to go to jail. That makes me very upset. I'm a Christian, but I am totally anti-government as far as everyone wants to make a law. They think it's immoral. Make a law. It's not the government's place.
That's right.
Absolutely
yes.
right.
Well,
yes.
no, wait a minute.
Deal.
Church
Wait a minute.
and state.
No,
Church over here,
yeah, wait a minute.
state over there.
Too much Big Brother.
I think, though, there is confusion about what morality is. I don't think morality is necessarily what is ethical.
Morality.
Morality should be that which is truly right and wrong, like killing people or genocide.
That's
And
easy.
those things need to be obviously controlled by law.
You're saying all genocide's bad?
What I'm saying is, and unfortunately, that most laws, in fact, don't address morality enough.
No,
It's not really,
but the drug laws and the prostitution laws are based on the hardcore Christians who feel that I guess they don't feel that they can police their children enough. They don't feel that they can raise their children properly. I have 2 little boys, and I feel that with my husband's rearing, that they'll grow up and, they may have a prostitute, but that's not going to destroy me. But I figure I'll raise them to where they don't feel they'll need that.
Tell me they're twins. Are they twins?
No, I have a 2.5-year-old and I have an 8-month-old.
15.
I happen to agree with you.
And I've been married for almost 3 years.
Oh my God! At 15?
I got married right after I turned 15, when it was legal for me to get married.
I was collecting
Congratulations.
pogs and watching Captain Kangaroo when I was 14 and a half, albeit I was a little slow. But you were 14 and a half?
I've been very, very fortunate. My husband has a career and he's making really good money. We've moved a couple times, but we're settled, and we've always been successful.
But were you?
There you go. I love it.
Were you 14 when you were pregnant?
Yes. And I was 6 months pregnant when I finally was able to get married.
Now, let me just say, I'm Heather. You're fine. I'm happy for you. But,
seriously, you don't wear a rope to hold your pants up, though, do you?
But in general, a 14-year-old is really, 90% of 14-year-olds are really not.
Oh, no, I don't advocate this.
Yeah,
we'll go 95.
95.
Oh,
the neurocognitive, the developmental stage that a 14-year-old is usually, vast majority of the time, not capable of
wait a minute.
handling.
Maybe they have an advantage because they can identify with the child.
There are also physical problems, too. Girls who have babies when they're very young usually go into preterm labor.
Oh, sure.
And are on bed rest. And
Oh,
all
sure.
kind of medical problems. I don't suggest having sex until you're 18, personally.
Right. I was thinking about this today.
Yeah, you're the poster child for waiting it out.
And for me, there's 2 main reasons. One is that you really aren't prepared to deal with the medical aspects of that behavior. You don't prepare for it. You don't get the birth control. You don't protect yourself from sexually transmitted disease. And secondly, I think this is what people miss often, is that it engenders these feelings that are very intense and connect you to that person in ways you don't expect.
Yes, I was really lucky because I know a lot of girls who, I had sex the first time and, I'm just so in love. And it's,
I'm going to marry her.
and I'm going to marry him, and we're going to live happily ever after. And
Right.
that just doesn't happen. I've been very fortunate. I've only had sex with one person, and that's my husband. And I think I'm probably one of the only people on the face of the earth that's been able to do that.
Yeah, I would agree. We talked to
mature.
we talked to a lot of people on this show, and you are the only person on the face of the earth.
Right, except for that one time with that one hooker in Nevada but he doesn't like to talk about. Well, Heather, you are the exception, not the norm. That is for damn sure. 14 and a half, pregnant,
Wow.
married to the same guy, never had sex with anyone else. He has a good job.
She has great values, too, the way she's bringing up her
Yeah,
kid
it's
with
interesting
love.
that she
Well, we were
supports
just
you.
talking to a 17-year-old. Doesn't
She's
that kind of
very
blow your
mature for
mind?
17. She's got her head on straight.
Wow.
Romeo and Juliet were 16.
Yeah, but that's
Or 14, something
They
like
killed
that.
themselves.
Is that a true story?
But to me that
They killed themselves.
but it's
My
example
God.
but
She's not from Juliet wasn't from Kentucky, was she?
But it again points out the kind of intense feelings young people aren't prepared to deal with that come out of that, and people get hurt.
I swear to God, I was doing air guitar to Boston's first album when I was 14. I hadn't even toyed with the notion of masturbation at 14. I can't get over that. Heidi, let's plug some of your crap a little more because I feel.
Hey, no crap.
Well, I mean crap like
Quality. We got quality merchandise.
No, I mean, it's like when someone says that's bad. I mean that's good. You know,
Okay,
I'm saying
we
that's
got it.
crap. I mean that's not crap. You know, you know what I'm
I
saying.
got your sense
But
of
I'm
humor.
saying you've been you hung out for an hour. You've been great. You've been candid, and I just feel like we owe it to you. So talk about what you'd like to talk about. Now you have a Miss Nude pageant coming up, right?
Oh, we don't need to talk about that.
Oh, we
Let's
don't?
talk about my store.
But you have all the
Great-
judges lined up and everything.
Great. It's already, the pay-per-view's already, I did it strictly for the money.
Yeah.
Strictly for the money.
I was just looking to get in on the
I've
judging.
incurred a lot of debt during this, and that was pay-per-view. It's an all-nude beauty pageant, but I strictly had to do it for the money. It is great TV, by the way, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got nude people prancing around with nothing.
It's rated PG nudity. There's nothing vulgar. We all have bodies. No one should be ashamed of their body, and, it's nothing
Right.
too much. It's not like a Hustler or anything.
No, it's tasteful nudity.
Playboy's even extreme compared to this kind of beauty pageant.
Well, now I'm not going to watch. I'm sure you just turned a lot
They're
of listeners off.
beautiful women.
All right. So we got the Heidi wear.
Heidi Wear, 3rd Street Promenade, Santa Monica. However, we ship all over the country. 1-800-HEIDI-75. Great Valentine's Day gifts, and I'm there almost all the time. So if you're in the area, come on in.
You have a catalog or something that goes
Yeah,
along with that.
Sure, we have catalogs. Call, we'll ship it right out.
None of the pages stuck together. No problems like that.
No,
Okay.
we're also on the internet too.
Okay, and of course the movie, the sort of docu-movie about your life. Yeah, I know you're
I'm wishy-washy with it, but it's great watching. I mean, it's a fascinating movie, but I'm wishy-washy.
Well, because you're not portrayed exactly how you'd like to be portrayed.
Yeah, it has me in some obsessive relationship that wasn't really like that. It really was the director's own obsessive relationship with a famous actress, Amanda Donohoe, and he had a torrid romance with her.
Yes.
And they were breaking up, and they were, who knows, they had going through all kinds of their own problems.
More projection.
Yeah, and he put it like it was me and this creep, and it really had nothing to do with me and this creep. It was him and his girlfriend.
All right, but other than that,
it's good watching.
Yeah.
So it raises some interesting questions and some social issues that should be dealt with.
And it sort of chronicles the whole beginning to end, right? I mean,
in a way.
How you got involved,
it's
what
confusing.
transpired.
A lot of these girls, these hookers who say they work for me, I never even met or seen before in my life. But in a way,
that's what I always say, by the way.
In a way, it chronicles some events, and it's really worth seeing. But it's a lot of it's inaccurate. But it's really, there's some parts. The parts that are accurate are great.
All right.
Okay.
Is there like is there like some sort of letter designation for the parts that are accurate, or we'll just figure that out ourselves?
I don't know any of those women in the beginning. They're so ugly, and they all say they work for me, and I wouldn't have the reputation I did if those kind of girls worked for me. I would have been bankrupt a long time ago.
You had the lookers. Well, for that kind of money, you got to look good.
What do you think? One thing we haven't talked about here tonight. All this stuff is about things that women are doing in our society. Do you have any opinion about what that means and how women? Because it's really about.
I very strongly have opinion. It's a boys' club. It's a man's world.
But don't you think
men are protected here?
But don't you think these kinds of endeavors tend to continue the female in sort of a role that where they can potentially be abused?
You're selling out. You're selling out your sisters, is what Drew said.
I want your opinion on it.
You're making it like the fly is attracted to the food, or maybe the food attracts the fly. You're putting it in a bizarre way.
Do you have an opinion? Is that bad for women? Are you adding to the degradation of women? Do you think?
I don't think so. If anything, I'm giving a woman self-confidence, and I'm sending a woman. I'm not sending a woman, but if a woman goes into a situation, she's in control. She doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do. If she doesn't like a situation, she could leave at any time. And I would never send someone into a situation where they were feeling degraded or less of a person or less confident.
And a lot of the guys had women that they would get hooked up with repeatedly, right? I mean, when they were in town, there was one that they wanted.
I guess so.
Theoretically, am I right?
Theoretically, I think you could be right.
Your memory's a little fuzzy?
Yes.
If I started pulling money out of my pocket right now, would it clear up?
No, it would not.
Well, I guess it'd have to be a lot.
I forget details and things. I get confused, but...
All right, but I'm going to assume that...
People do fall in love. I mean, it happens.
I can't believe people got married that way.
Yeah, a lot of people you would know, too.
I mean, famous people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe during the break you'll tell me?
Good luck.
If I promise not to say anything over the air?
It's been a pleasure meeting you guys.
If I just give initials...
She's on her way out now.
No, you got another 6 minutes. I will not rake you over the coals anymore. Drew, where do you want to go?
Here we go.
Fantastic. Rachel.
Hi.
You're on Loveline.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Actually, first I want to say my comment. Yesterday, when you were talking about breastfeeding, you said it was a form of birth control.
It has the potential to be. It is a natural form of birth control. It's not a perfect means of birth control by any means.
Okay, well, I just wanted to clear that up.
And by the way, that excludes guys sucking on boobs while they're humping away. That is not birth control, is it?
That is correct. That is
okay,
not.
because I know we have a lot of listeners who do that.
Well, I just wanted to make sure, that somebody was out there breastfeeding and thought, I can't get pregnant now.
No, it's not as though you can't. It's just a means of birth control.
No, and Drew stated it that way, too, very clearly.
Oh, okay, well, I was listening, and it didn't sound that way. But it's okay. I'm not trying to...
All right.
Adam's a little defensive tonight.
Yeah, I hate everyone, except for Heidi and Drew.
No, and then my question was, I have a lot of lesbian friends, and they're talking about a dental dam all the time. And I want to know what a dental dam is.
What is it?
It's
even Heidi doesn't know.
Yeah.
Wait, say that word again.
Dental dam.
I've never heard of it.
Really?
No.
You're not just plain stupid. You never heard of the dental
Call
dam?
me naive.
Okay, we just thought in your line and everything. What?
I didn't want to ask my friend because I didn't want to seem...
All right, well, I'll explain it to Heidi. It's like...
A dental dam?
Well, we've talked about Tupperware.
You're supposed when you're practicing safe sex, you're not supposed to have any mucous membrane contact, right? You're supposed to put a latex barrier between you and the other person,
right?
With everything,
Right. Let's say.
So what?
Let's
You
say
put
you made
Saran wrap on over a
yes,
girl,
that's
and
what
then
I'd
you
say.
start licking or something?
Let's say you made a big pot of chili, and you're too lazy to put it in the Tupperware. So you take the Saran wrap.
God, I've never
and you stretch
heard,
it over the top.
This is too weird for me.
You stretch it over the top of the big pot of chili. And the next morning you want some chili, but you're too lazy to take the Saran wrap off. So you just ram your face into it and try to eat the chili through the Saran wrap.
Dental dam is basically a sheet of latex. And you can buy dental dams, or you can take a dry condom and cut the tip off and then cut along the long axis, and then you have a sheet of latex. And that's basically
And, Drew, you want to use my famous quote for the dental dam?
I don't remember it.
Hassle.
Sometimes you have to go through the dam to get to the beaver. It's still funny.
Oh, jeez. I thankfully missed that one. All right, Rachel?
Thank you.
All right, bye.
God bless you. All right, more calls. Jenny.
Yeah.
You're on Loveline with Heidi Fleiss, Adam Carolla, and Doc Drew.
Hey, everybody. I have like this kind of serious problem at work.
Mm-hmm.
My manager has these like really, really major mood swings.
Mm-hmm. What does he do?
Well, like 1 minute he's like really relaxed, then like one little thing will throw him off or whatever, and like he'll go into these tantrums, and he's like older than I am.
And
Sue him.
What?
Sue him.
Sue him.
Workers' comp right away.
Yeah, I wish.
He does this at work.
Yeah,
Well.
in front. Okay, there'll be like customers. He'll
Yeah.
do it in front of them.
Just
and
statistically, the thing that would make that kind of behavior most likely would be drug addiction. Either alcohol or stimulants, God knows what. If he's doing drugs, even a small amount, as we were talking with Heidi earlier, even a small amount on a daily basis can result in those kinds of behaviors.
But Drew, never underestimate the a-hole factor.
Yeah,
I mean, some people are just tremendous a-holes, and they don't know they're at
I
work.
forgot that clinical category, Adam. I appreciate you bringing that out.
AF. The
There's
a-hole
commercials on
factor.
TV. If you're verbally abused at work, if you stress on the job, just sue him.
That's right.
At first,
as a matter of fact, just sue him anyway.
Sue everybody, you know.
Say he called you a stinking liar, and just sue his pants off.
Well, there are a lot of psychiatric conditions or psychological conditions that can result. He could be just depressed. It could be all kinds of things, Jenny. I don't know. There's no way I can comment or even speculate on what it is. Just statistically, drug addiction or drug use and addiction in our society is exceedingly common, and it creates that sort of behavior very often.
And some people just need to be reminded. I want to say to some people, do I know you? How well do we know each other? You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, that you're yelling at me, or that you're making a scene, or that you're pitching a fit, and it's like, I work with you a couple hours a week. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your kid. I'm not your wife. I'm not your dad. I'm not your brother. I don't even like you. I don't even like working with you. Save it. Save it for home.
Right.
Some people just are totally inappropriate at work.
Right.
You never had any hookers cuss out any Johns, did you?
There's always disgruntled employees in every field.
Yeah, did you?
I hope none of my employees at HeidiWare think of me that way.
Did you have any in the old days that got pissed off
Never
and tried
had
to get
a
you back
problem.
or anything?
I don't remember anything.
No, $2,000 for an evening.
I can't remember
who's got a problem with that? All right, one more call.
Yeah.
Heidi's going to take this one, and then we're going to send her packing.
The dental dam.
All right, should we go? Where do you want to go?
don't give me that one.
Not that one. That seems like a Heidi call. All right, we're gonna. I'm going out on a limb here. Tony.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Hey, Dr. Drew.
Hey, Tony.
Adam. Heidi.
Yes.
Yes. Greetings and salutations.
All right, Tony. Put down the 40-ouncer and ask your question.
Okay. I had a real weird thing happen, like, I think it was last weekend or weekend before. I met a lady, and after a long dry spell, I got hold of a lady. And I do an Adam thing on top of that, get regular sex, doing it myself.
Right.
Okay.
Dating your right side, yes.
Well, yeah. And I had kind of one of my masturbation fantasies fulfilled during that same weekend within a 48-hour period. Okay?
Which was?
Well, kind of going over to my neighbor's house and doing it in front of her. I'm kind of an exhibitionist, okay?
Kind of.
But the point is, I'd had sex and orgasms several times during this 48-hour period. And so I figured there was nothing left in there. But when this fantasy got fulfilled, I mean, I was like gushing, and there was a lot of clear fluid in there, and I don't know where it came from. I didn't think I had it in me.
You have it in you, and it's normal.
Yeah, there's a little reservoir that men have just below the arch of the right foot. It's kind of a little rainy day.
Okay, 'cause
thing.
I was in the recliner chair, and that's where it came from.
Right. You had your foot elevated. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right. That's what that is. That's like it's the male reserve tank. There's just a little, it's like
I told you that wasn't for Heidi.
Little ketchup comes in those little pens, little semen packet there.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. All right, Heidi. That
been
was
great, you guys.
Maybe that wasn't the question for
I
you.
like it. Men never run out. I just learned something. Learned a few things tonight.
They run low, and it changes, but they don't run out.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like
never are dry.
Right. There's always enough dilithium crystal to get you to the next planet. No matter how much Scotty's screaming in the underpants, there's just enough there to get you and the crew safely to your next planet.
Well,
and
thank you for such an entertaining evening.
we want to thank you for coming out. This was a milestone, and we wish you well. I know it sounds like you got a tough road to hoe.
Sure do.
But I'm sure when we talk again, let's see, how old will I be?
Better circumstances.
Yes. Thank
All
you
right,
for coming in, and we'll be back in a moment.
Hello, this is Justine. I'm Donna from Elastica, and you're listening to Loveline.
You certainly are. And the phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. And the fax number, 310-854-4455. Well, Heidi Fleiss has left the building. She was a fun guest, an interesting guest. Planned on staying, was feeling a little under the weather, planned on staying on for a half hour and ended up staying on for about an hour and 15 minutes. So we can't fault that. Drew, I believe you were the reason she stayed. I believe if I was there for her, if it was just me, she would have left after 10 minutes.
That's true most of our guests, though, isn't it?
Drew, let me explain the way graciousness and compliments work. I hand you out a compliment. I throw you a bone.
I'm sorry.
You, in turn...
Thank you for it.
Not only thank me, but if you're really gracious, you then come back with some other compliment. Now, I know toward me.
It's hard.
God forbid.
Yeah.
I know you're unprepared, and you'd have to, dig through your briefs in order to find one.
I'll come up with something someday. I will.
Oh, someday?
Yeah.
You couldn't even squeeze one in before the 12 o'clock hour? All right. I'm not going to ask for compliments anymore because it's empty. Tammy.
Yes, hi. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're fine.
I was really hoping to talk to Heidi, but here's my question. I'm seeing this guy, and I'm going to... he lives out of town. I'm going to go see him for Valentine's Day. And I wanted to do something kind of intimate and creative, but I don't have any ideas of my own. I was hoping maybe you guys would help.
You're not talking about a gift. You're talking about an activity.
Maybe, if it's creative and intimate enough.
Well, you're going to visit the guy out of town, right?
Right.
Well, you just being there is going to be pretty good. I mean, that's going to be half the battle. Then you guys are going to have sex, right?
Most likely, hopefully, yes.
What, is he not going to be in the mood?
Oh, definitely will then.
Okay.
I'll definitely be in the mood.
All right, so you got you there. Then on top of you being there, we have you having sex while you're there. And other than that, you add a little food and some TV.
And that's all men want.
Yeah?
And that's it.
Isn't it?
Food, sex, and a little television.
Well, let me tell you something about the beautiful evening that women plan for men. And I'm filing this under lingerie, and producer Ann, you can jump in here when I'm done with this, or cut me off if I get too far out of line. But let me explain how a lovely dinner, like a 5-course meal, works for a man on Valentine's. It's like salad. When am I going to get laid? Soup. When am I going to take this broad home and screw her? Entree. I need some lovin'. Dessert. I wish we could screw the goddamn dessert and go straight home and get it on. So what I'm saying is,
just be dessert.
That's all the guy's thinking about the whole time you're out anyway. Then you run the risk, you run food poisoning. He could have some sort of emotional run-in with a valet or something and ruin his erection. He could get loaded on red wine and be rendered useless. You're taking a lot of chances. I'm saying you're going over there. Ann, yes?
Adam, I don't think it's fair for you to lump all men into that category. I'm sure there are a lot of men out there who would love to enjoy a nice meal with, their lady friends, so...
Yes, you think?
Yes, definitely, and can wait for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
What about if your lady friend lives out of town and rarely comes in to see you? Mike is bobbing his head like the man he is.
There's everything. You can enjoy a meal with somebody.
Yeah, I'm not saying a guy doesn't like to eat, but I'm saying, just go to Noggles or...
No way. Absolutely not.
I'm saying just go to the Wiener Schnitzel drive-thru, get a corn dog or something, and hustle back to the pad.
No, I understand why you go out with the women you do.
Ann is
I'm
repulsed.
blown away, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't mean it. Take him out, get him a nice meal. Believe me, if you could hook him up with some kind of electrodes, all you'd get is sex, 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 food, sex, eat, belch, sex, sex, beer, sex. Look at that waitress's ass. Sex, 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 sex. How much should I tip the guy who parked the car? Sex. And then speed home for what he was thinking about all night. Am I right, Ann? Come on.
I think all men that disagree with Adam should call in right now.
All right. All two of you gay guys, call in right now.
Shut up. There are lots of romantic men out there, Adam.
I know. And let me tell you something. I don't buy into half the crap I'm laying out. It just comes spewing out of my mouth. I just open it, and it drops out. I was going to say like a mother condor feeding her young chicks, but that reference was better. I'm making guys look good by taking this angle on things. You understand?
Why? Because you're making yourself sound so pathetic?
I become the whipping boy of the nation because everyone else looks at their man and goes, man, you are a gem. Thank God I'm not with that bastard Adam. Oh, thank God. Everyone down on their knees and pray. And while you're down there. All right. So Tammy?
Yeah?
Take him out somewhere nice. He's gonna be shoveling the food down like
I like your
like he's
first idea
Biafran
better.
or something. Huh?
Skip dinner and go straight for dessert.
Just rent a movie and just get it on. You guys don't see each other that often, and believe me, that would be the best gift you could give him.
I'm glad we're thinking on the same level. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Tammy. See, if I can't find a man to agree with me, I'll find a woman. Crystal.
Hi.
Hey, you're on Loveline.
Hi, Adam. Hi, Dr. Drew.
Crystal. Hey.
Well, I'm 17, and I've been married for about 7 months now. And found out a couple weeks after I got married that my husband, on his bachelor night, and also 2 weeks after we were married, slept with a married couple who happened to be one of my bridesmaids and the groomsmen.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to draw like a tree here or something.
Yeah.
All right, now let me get this straight. Your husband
of how many months?
7 months.
Both before and after marriage
Mhm.
did this thing. How did you find out about this?
The groomsmen approached me and said, why don't you and I have something going on? And I said no, and he said, well, you don't know about your husband and my wife.
Are you sure he wasn't just trying to
Oh,
provoke you?
No, I approached my husband about it, and he said that it happened, and so we stuck together through really hard times, and
Wow.
How
old is your
wait a minute. I need a quick recap here because I'm very tired tonight. I'm not thinking straight.
How old is your husband?
Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead.
He's over 20.
How much over 20?
22.
Okay.
All right, so you're 22. Now, you're 17.
Uh-huh.
They've been married for 7 months.
Mhm.
Now, at the bachelor party,
Yeah.
your husband had sex with
His friend and
his wife. All right.
who happened to be one of my bridesmaids and his groomsmen that were married together.
Wow.
She's somebody special to you? Was she like a really close friend or anything?
No,
Yeah.
it's a long story.
You're not paying for the dress after that.
No.
And then they did it again?
After 2 weeks after we were married.
Ugh.
And I didn't find out about it until about 3 weeks after we'd been married.
Now, why did you get married?
Why did you stay married? Why didn't you just get an annulment right then?
You really could.
I really wanted to. And through some really hard times, we stuck together.
Well, through some really hard time. I would expect there are
Let
going to
me
be
tell you-
years of really hard time to come to work through
Let me
this.
tell you something about hard times. Hard times is like the stock market dropping out. Hard times is famine and locusts. God's wrath kind of stuff. Him banging your buddies while you're at home, it's not hard times.
This
It's
guy's
him-
an asshole. Can I say that?
You certainly can, Drew. It's this guy getting laid. It's hard times for his penis. That is the hard thing of the times. This he's crapping on you. This is pathetic.
Yeah.
This guy's a jackass. I mean, I could understand fooling around 6-8 months into a relationship, but the first few weeks. And give
Can
me.
I ask something? Why are you staying with him?
That's what I asked. Why didn't you get an annulment immediately?
No, why? Why are you staying with
Probably
him?
because I thought that I loved him, and I
How
still
could you
do.
love somebody who would do that to you?
Anne?
Because I thought that it was him getting back at me. When we first started dating, I had cheated, and this was like when we probably, I don't know, 6 months after we started dating, and that was 3 years ago.
3 years ago. So you've been seeing this guy since you were 16 and a half? I mean,
14.
14 and a half or something?
Yeah.
Jesus. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from California.
Really? I thought like stormtroopers broke in your house if you lived. I thought you could only do that stuff in the Midwest.
Well,
In the South. Wow. All right. Listen, I'm going to put my Doc Drew hat on with the shiny reflective thing that no one knows what it's called hat. I bet even Drew doesn't. What's that thing called? What's the hat the doctors just got?
Headlamp.
Headlamp?
Uh-huh.
That's it?
Huh?
I should have something more important than that. All right, listen, Crystal. Were you ever abused?
Yeah.
Because your self-esteem is at all-time low.
And that's why she accepts the abuse. And
Right.
Because she is used. That's what she is used to. That's what she accepts. That's what she anticipates in relationships.
It's only Crystal.
And she's going to fix this one.
Right. I mean, if this
It's
happened...
just that's so hard to understand.
The abuse she's used to is probably a lot worse than this.
But that's all she understands. I mean, that's all she's known.
Well, he was really good to me, and because I was really abused when I was little from my father, and I have broken bones and all these other things. And so,
But as is always the case, usually, virtually always the case, when you've been abused, you pick abusers.
And
You seek them out.
And when they start abusing, you don't know.
You blame yourself.
You blame yourself. You don't know when to stop, or to stop them, or to leave the relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And you figure you're going to fix them, and it's something you've done, and you're responsible. And you're classic. I mean, because he's getting back at me because I cheated when I was 14. Come on.
All right, Crystal. Here is the God's honest, as hard as this may be to hear. You met this guy when you were 14 and a half. You were horribly abused, and you don't really even know who you are because you were abused so badly. I mean, you can't trust your judgment because it's skewed, it's impaired. Right. Not any fault of your own, but you had this tyrannical dad who did these horrible atrocities to you when you were young. And so you don't, at 14 and a half or 17 or probably,
for many years
18
to come,
or 19 are not going to have, it's like you're looking through a pair of spectacles and someone smeared mud on them. You get a little light through there, but not enough to clearly see the landscape. Wow, that was pretty good.
Finally, there was real poetry there.
All right, well, relax, Drew. I'm
That's
on a roll.
my compliment to you for tonight. It's beautiful.
I
Very well done.
complimented me first. But here's the deal,
I thought it
Crystal.
first.
Rest assured, any guy who you go in for at this point with the mud on the goggles is going to be the wrong guy. Here's how you know it's the wrong guy. You went after him.
Right.
That's it. And that's all you know, and it's not your fault. But you need to get help. You need to get counseling. You need to clear up some of these things that are in your head so that you can wipe some of this soot away so that you can see clearly and look into the future a little more.
I would say don't make any decisions, don't do anything until you've had some professional help, because the facts are, even if you do end this relationship, you're going to find another one just like it until you do something to change you. And you may choose to try to work this thing out. Maybe he can be treated, too, in some way that will be effective in the long term.
He should be treated with a cat of nine tails and a guy in a leather mask. Oh, yes. You know what that riff means. It means we're back here on Loveline. I'm frantically looking for something that Drew is sitting on. Yes, I said Drew. I meant Dr. Drew, the board-certified physician. And when I say Adam, I mean Adam Carolla, the uncertified host. We want to thank Heidi Fleiss for coming in tonight and being so candid. And I want to give you guys the phone numbers, 1-800. And I always say that plurally, and I shouldn't, because it's one number. I just give you two versions.
But then you give the fax number, too.
All right, but I say phone numbers. Anyway, I'll hone my skills later. 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. Faxes, 310-854-4455. During the commercial, producer Ann, sexy, leggy, angular producer Ann came in here in a little bit of a huff, upset at the direction we gave that last call, saying that we should have yelled at her to divorce the guy immediately. And we're going to talk about it, Ann.
Yeah, I mean, the last call really did upset me because I don't think anybody should be treated that way. I just felt that just because she's been abused in her past doesn't make it okay that she picked this relationship.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, if she were just dating the guy, we'd say get out of that relationship, have a moratorium on relationships, go to therapy until you figure out what's a healthy relationship for you and how to have intimacy. But she's already married, and they're young. Maybe this guy can be treated. Maybe they can be helped together. I mean, it's a little bit of a crazy situation, but it's not a dangerous situation. It's not totally chaotic. It just is beginning to expose itself to be what it is. And it may be salvageable. We don't know this woman. I don't want to make those kinds of sweeping statements for a marriage just over the radio a few minutes. But only it is clear is that she's a victim of abuse and she's got serious internal problems as a result, and she needs help. That's clear.
And it was clear that the guy was a turd, and you're right, Ann. But she was 17, and just
still, that doesn't give anybody the right to do that.
No, we agree.
No, well, yeah, we never condoned it or anything. But I mean, what I'm saying is telling a 17-year-old, hey, you got to pick up and get out of there. Is fine, but probably unrealistic. I mean, I don't think she would have packed her bags and got out of there.
But there's got to be some turning point. There's got to be some point in your life where you go, this is not acceptable.
Yeah, but it's not up to us.
But it doesn't happen in one phone call,
right.
And it doesn't happen in one evening. It's over the course of months and unfortunately years. You get help. You work out things. You confront your dad. You talk to a therapist. You work these things out, and it happens in a more slow progression, unfortunately. I mean, it would be great if she could have just packed up and left. And if you're listening now and you have a place to go, maybe you should do that. I mean, but it doesn't sound like she's going home.
Right.
And it doesn't sound like she,
it's
has
just so sad because it's not going to change.
Probably not. Probably not.
He's doing this a week before they get married, the time that you should be most in love. I mean,
right, but she's staying with him too after knowing this. So us telling her to pack up is probably not going to work.
And probably if she does begin to change, he's going to try to sabotage that in some way because he chose her because she's not well.
Weak,
all right. Well, let's hope somehow they can get some help together. Rocky.
Yeah.
You're on Loveline.
I'm calling in because you said to call in for people who disagree with you.
About what?
About that you said that all men usually just think of sex and everything.
Yeah.
I disagree.
How old are you?
13.
That's right. You're thinking about Hot Wheels and sex at this point.
No. I'm thinking about Hot Wheels.
You're very honest. Yeah, yes. You're 13. Of course, you're not all men. I'm talking about guys who walk around in undershirts with yellow stains on them and their crack hanging out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Mike on the weekends. Mike just got shot. I think Mike's getting a little tired of my constant barrage.
People ripping on him.
Yeah. But, Rocky, you're here to say that there's more to men than just sex.
Not even like my cousin Danny. He's like 25. He doesn't even just sit around thinking about that all day.
He doesn't?
No.
Well, he thinks about cars and sex?
No. Right now, he's probably thinking about something that's wrong with him right now because he's in the hospital.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. When you have a hernia or cancer, or your gallbladder needs to be removed, yes, I will make rare exceptions then. When you're under the knife, you stop thinking about sex for that one moment, but as soon as you come to, you go right back into the sex mode. Guys aren't all pigs, though. I shouldn't say that. Sunshine.
Yes.
How are you?
Just fine. How are you guys tonight?
Good. You're on Loveline. What's your question?
Well, there's this guy that I really like, and he's, oh my gosh. I've known him for about 2 years, and I kind of want to ask him out, but I don't really know how to go about doing that. I mean, I don't want to be some forward, like, feminazi chick or something. But...
Feminazi chick?
How about writing him a letter?
How about goose-stepping into his living room and pulling out your, oh, damn, what is that Nazi gun? See, your Luger. That's what it is. I'm too tired. Yeah, how about asking him?
Well, I mean...
Writing a little letter.
Like, straight out, hey, you want to go out with me?
Write a letter.
Write a letter?
You've hung out with this guy for 2 years?
Well, I mean, we had classes together, and then we talk. I mean, I called him tonight just to, like, ask him what the homework was, even though I knew, but, you know, I'm pretty lame. I'm sorry, but...
Does this guy listen to the show?
I don't know. Probably. Maybe he's asleep. I don't know.
You know, something we haven't done all night, Sunshine, is done a third-party call.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Let me explain to you something. This is a great lesson in life.
What? Don't call
better to take the pain all at once than to stretch it out over the course of a high school career. We could give this guy a call. I could slip the velvet sack over my already velvety tongue, and we could talk to this boy, talk some sense into him about you.
Well...
Put a little ray of sunshine into his life.
Well, what time is it? It's like 10 to 12.
It's pretty early.
Well, I don't want to wake up his parents. I mean, I'm like,
Oh.
we have school tomorrow.
All right.
I really,
He doesn't pick up? We get his dad?
yeah, you get his dad or his mom.
Okay. All right. We don't need that kind of trouble. I would say if you've been hanging around with this guy off and on for 2 years and he hasn't approached you, that's probably not a good omen.
Well, I mean, like, he kind of had a girlfriend, and then they kind of just totally broke things off about a month ago. And I'm not looking for, like, a serious thing. I mean, just a date, maybe some kissing. Who knows? But
do you get the feeling he has any interest in you?
I don't know. I mean, we talk pretty comfortably, and
Well,
I don't know.
Sunshine, next time you're having one of your comfortable conversations, bring up the fact that you would like to go out with him.
But what am I going to say?
Ask him if he wants to be your Valentine's. Why not? It's coming up.
Or just ask him. Let's go have dinner or something.
Yeah, make it lunch.
Yeah, something non-threatening.
Yeah, tell him you got like a couple of your folks gave you a couple of goofy gift certificates to this place or something, and you know they're burning a hole in your pocket.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, tell him. Yeah, do that. Go. That's a. All right, there's a ploy. Go out to some restaurant or wherever. Buy yourself a couple, like a little coupon packet or something, and say, "Yeah, I got these goofy things. They're going to expire soon, and you're not my first choice, but you know what I'm saying. Make it casual."
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Make sure and fiddle with your hair a lot.
Well, I have really long hair.
Oh, beautiful. Fantastic. All right, Sunshine?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good luck. All right, let's go back to the phones here. John?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
How you doing? Yeah, I wanted to ask you for some advice. My girlfriend, I think she's being stalked by one of her old friends from high school.
Huh.
Last night she was driving home from school, and there was a girl tailing her all the way, and she pulled into a bookstore at one of the local malls, and she came back. She went in and bought a book. She came back out, and there's a note on her car saying, "Boom, I blanked your boyfriend. Boom, I blanked John," and it also said that I give great oral sex, and she flipped out. I think that this girl keyed my car a couple times, and now she's doing this crap.
Is she stalking you or her?
I'm pretty sure it's her, because
It sounds
she
more
made,
like it's
phone calls to her and things like that. And now my girlfriend's like, "Well, why don't you go do something about this and take care of this girl and end it?" But I know if I go and do something back to her, it's just going to escalate the problem even more, and it's just going to become this big, like, 7th and 8th grade teenage battle.
I would suggest you call the police.
Yeah.
And have everything documented very carefully for a couple of reasons. One is she may be very ill psychiatrically and needs help, and there'll be no other way she's going to get it.
I know she does.
All right.
And she's on drugs, too.
All right. And then number 2...
Oh, she is. She's on...
Yeah, medication.
Medication,
Yeah,
okay.
She's whacked.
And then number 2, this is illegal, and it needs to be stopped, and who knows what the potential danger there is in it for you.
But
and
it's like
Look, don't even worry about it. Bring all the structure and force to bear that you can get your hands on.
Mhm.
Don't react to it any other way. Just call the police, start documenting it, and go through those channels.
But, Drew, I thought the police were too busy having one of their Heidi Fleiss whack-a-thons in some hotel room that was hardwired into Heidi's little sex castle there with donuts and cigarettes for all.
I guess they are.
Yeah, so they may not be able to act on it. They're too busy saving the world.
But the thing that sucks about it is, like, my girlfriend's, like, trying to make me be, like, this macho guy, and I got to stand up for my manly.
John,
stand up for my girl.
call the police, and they will set her straight on what it is you need to do, okay?
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
All
right.
It's ridiculous.
That's
He'll
kinda
get
funny.
hurt, she'll get hurt.
Yeah.
The stalker is a sick person, will not get help. Terrible.
Yeah, should not be egged on. And a woman could get a guy to do just about anything by questioning his manhood. Don't you think, Drew?
That's true.
Don't you think so? I mean, here's a tip, because I bash on guys a lot, and I'm going to help women out now. If you want your man to do something, just end it with, I bet you're not man enough to, and take out the garbage. And I bet you're not man enough to wait until we come back. Oh, Drew and I were just sitting here lamenting over our tortured lives. I want to apologize for any faux pas I may have made tonight. I'm just tired as hell, and Drew's falling apart too, so thank God it's the end of the show. But we did have a fun time.
We did.
And Heidi Fleiss, she was in tonight? Yes.
Yes, tonight was the night. Yeah,
she
right.
was wonderful. And tomorrow night is Pamela Gidley. Now, she is from... she's from Strange Luck. Strange Luck on Fox. And she'll be in here, and I'm sure she's quite lovely, so we will pick her brain. And Drew, in the meantime, will read the Loveline address.
Right. Our email is LUV191 on America Online. And if you'd like to just write the old-fashioned way, it's P.O. Box 4345, Hollywood, California, 90078.
I would like to thank the lovely Lori for working on the phones tonight, the lovely Sherry for screening the calls tonight, the beautiful, the vivacious, the angular, she's like a white minute bull with a bob. She has no idea who that is. She is the lovely, lovely Ann. What a producer. What a woman. And then there's Mike. Mike, the producer, busy with his flock in nowhere near a religious way either with that flock. I know a lot of people tended sheep in the Bible, but this is a totally different thing. And when he tills soil, that's different too. And I'd like to thank Scott back at the Mother Base at K-Rock, which I'll be there in about 4.5 hours.
Right.
So I'm miserable. And I'd like to thank you for listening. Without you, it would not be possible. Remember, Pamela Gidley tomorrow night, and we'll talk to you then.
So that's it then.
The opinions expressed on Loveline by Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew, or anyone are not necessarily ours. Be happy. Be happy. Happy, happy, happy.